Can you make a sandwich cookie with 5 pieces? This is a cookie puzzle from Japan. When we place 4 pieces, the last one will go beyond the edge of the cookie. Of course, you can try rearranging them, but the problem remains the same. Even if you can fit all the pieces, the other cookie shell won't match. The reason is that the cookie has different protrusions, and the puzzle only has one unique solution. You must find the exact position of each piece, and if anyone is wrong, the black part won't close. So, what is the solution? First, we place the first piece here, then add this one to its right. Next, I'll pick up this piece and place it here. Now there's a perfect space here for this piece. Then place this one here, and finally put the black cookie on top. Rotate it until you find the position to perfectly close them. Do you like this puzzle? Can you fit 6 T's into the box? Just because the box's cutout matches the size of the T, you might try to fit the T through the cutout, but the problem is that when you place 4 T's, the 5th T will extend outside the box. How can you fit 6 T's in? In fact, the T can also be placed vertically into the box, but this doesn't mean you can easily solve the puzzle, because the box's width can only accommodate 3 T's. You will still end up with a T that doesn't fit completely into the box, unless you can find a way to utilize the space reasonably. What you need to do is combine the two methods. First, place 1 T horizontally at the bottom of the box. Then, place a T vertically and move it to the right, letting it slide to the bottom of the box. Now place another T in the exact same way, and move it to the left side of the box. The 4th T is placed vertically and slid to one side of the box. For the 5th T, we repeat the same process. Now we have enough space to place the last T. Do you like this puzzle? Can you build a cube from any 7 pieces? This is a classic puzzle from 1933. We've taken away the white and green pieces, and we can eventually build a cube with the rest. Of course, we could also take away 2 other pieces, but there's a tricky part. The first few pieces fit perfectly, but the last one doesn't. You can try different arrangements, but the problem remains the same, because there are hundreds of different arrangements of 7 pieces, but only one solution. You have to find the exact position of each piece. So what's the solution? What I'd do is combine these 2 pieces like this, and then place 3 pieces here. But the problem is that there are many different arrangements for the remaining 4 pieces. If you place this piece here, you'll find that the last one still doesn't fit. What to do then? We can change it by swapping these 2 pieces. The remaining space fits perfectly with the shape of the wooden block, and the cube is complete. Did you like this puzzle? Can you put all 9 pieces into the box? This is a famous puzzle from 1970. You might think it's simple, but the truth is, after you put in 8 pieces, the remaining space no longer fits the last piece. You can try rearranging all the pieces in different ways, but most of the time, you'll end up with one piece that won't fit. The reason is simple. There are thousands of different combinations of these 9 pieces. You need to find the exact position of each piece. So what's the solution? First, place 1 piece horizontally. Then, place the second piece vertically here. Now, you can place a small cube in the corner. Place the 4th piece like this. You need to find the correct orientation for each piece. The 5th piece is here. Then, place the 6th piece like this. Now there's a space in the middle to fit the small cube. Then, place the 8th piece horizontally here. The remaining space perfectly fits the last piece. Did you like this puzzle? Can you remove the rope from the ring? This is a topological puzzle that has been around for centuries. It forces you to think outside the box. At first glance, the only solution seems to be moving along the ring's path. Let's do a test. When you move the rope to the end, you'll find it's impossible because the exit is blocked by a ring. You can try turning the rope upside down and putting it into the ring. You'll see it's blocked by 2 balls. And the exit ring can't be removed either. The rope is trapped in the ring, seemingly with no way out. But I'm here to tell you, the solution is very simple, without cutting the rope or breaking anything. Do you know what the solution is? All you need to do is move the rope to the ring. If you move it forward, it will return to the starting point. Now, we need to think outside the box. Put the rope into the ring and stretch it. Next, turn the rope around using the gaps in the rope to go around the ring, and the rope is removed intact. Did you like this puzzle? Do you know how to put sea urchins in a cage? This is a classic puzzle from the Czech 20th century, and it seems impossible to do, since the sea urchin is much larger than the gap between the fences. It cannot pass through the middle of the fence, and the ends of the cage are also closed. But it's a puzzle, and you have to figure out how to solve it. I give you a tip. Take a closer look at the cage, and try to find its secrets. If you look closely enough, you will find that one of the gaps is a little wider than the others. This is the key to solving the puzzle. First, we put the sea urchin here. You can put part of the sea urchin in it, but it gets stuck. Then, do a simple action. Try to rotate it like this. When it can't turn, you need to try to change direction. You will see more and more stabbing in. You need to be patient, and then repeat the action just now until you can completely put the sea urchin in the cage. So the puzzle is solved. So can you take the sea urchin out? Can you fit 11 letters J into the frame? Usually, I would combine them this way to utilize the space. So next, I'm going to do a test. When I place 4 pairs, there's no space left for the remaining 3. Even though I try to rearrange them, as you can see, I can't fit them all in either. Of course, you could rearrange them in other ways, but the problem remains the same. Most of the time, we don't have enough space for the last one. So, what's the solution? We must find the exact position for each piece. We place 2 at the bottom of the frame, then do the same with 2 at the top. We add these 2 to the side. Next, we place 2 like this. Here's an empty spot that's just enough for 1. Then we place the other one here. Now it seems there's not enough space for the last one, but as long as we move it up, we'll get the space to fit the last one. Do you like this puzzle? Can you fit 6 chocolates into the box? This is a packaging puzzle from 1988. When we place 4 chocolates, they go over the edge of the box, leaving no space for the last 2. You can try rearranging them in different ways, but if you use a simple placement strategy, you'll always end up with 2 chocolates that don't fit completely into the box unless you find a more efficient way to use the space. So, what's the solution? If you look closely at each face of the chocolates, you'll see they all have a square, and they can be combined like this. But this doesn't mean the puzzle is easy to solve, because if arranged incorrectly, you'll get a strange shape that doesn't fit the box. What we need to do is first arrange 3 chocolates in this shape. If we use the same method to arrange the other 3 chocolates, we'll get 2 identical parts. Then, we place them in opposite directions and combine them like this, and we can fit all the chocolates into the box. Do you like this puzzle? Can you fit the 6 pieces into the box? If you put the pieces in one by one like this, you will never solve the puzzle, because when you have put in 5 pieces, you will not have enough space to place the last piece. You can try rearranging all the pieces in different ways, but the problem remains the same. You will always end up with one piece that doesn't fit into the box, unless you find a way to use the space more efficiently. So what is the solution? First, place one piece vertically and move it to the right. Next, place one piece horizontally and move it to the left. Then add the third piece using the same method. But the problem is that when you add the fourth piece, the entrance is blocked again. The good news is that there is still a lot of space inside that we can use to move the pieces. You need this piece to move in first, then move it to the right side of the box. Move this piece up. Then slide this piece to the left. Finally, place one piece and move it down. Now there is enough space to place the last piece. Do you like this puzzle?